Ratio and rate is today's topic. Hopefully I do better with that than I did with that. Ratios and rates. Really, a ratio is usually what we think of as a relationship between a number, between numbers. For example, if I asked you the ratio of boys to girls in 6th grade. Okay, now you have to be careful with this. This is where most people who like to do things fast get this wrong because they get careless and whatever here. First of all, how many boys are there?
9.
How many girls?
14.
Okay, there are a couple different ways, actually 3 different ways to write this. Okay, you can write it just like it is there. The ratio of boys to girls is 9 to 14. That's one way to write it. Another way to write it is in fraction form, and usually we write it in fraction form, 9 to 14. And then a way that we rarely do it is 9 with a colon 14. They all mean the same thing, 9 to 14, 9 to 14, 9 to 14. But here's the important thing to remember. Okay, the first number given, or the first thing you're given there, has to be the one that goes first, or on top, or first. I can't flip-flop those things. If it's boys, 2 girls, it has to be boys, 2 girls, boys, 2 girls, boys, 2 girls. If I rewrote it and said the ratio of girls to boys, you'd have the same numbers, but they'd be in the other order. In other words, it would be 14 to 9, 14 to 9, and 14 to 9. So you have to be very, very careful. The order they give it to you is important. You have to put that first one on top, second one has to go second or on the bottom. For example, a team lost 3 games and won 7 games. Team lost 3 and won 7. What was its win-loss ratio? What is its win-loss ratio? What would be its win-loss ratio? Win-loss ratio, Ryan?
7 to 3.
Right, 7 to 3. How about the loss to wins ratio? What would be the loss to wins ratio? Alex?
3 to 7.
7. What about its win to total gain ratio? Win to total games. Andrew?
7 to 10.
Right. 7, 1 out of 10 total games. You might have to eventually do some adding there. And then they might ask you this, under rate, I guess they give us this. Under rates, which I guess is under the letter R, maybe you want to make a different piece of notepaper with that. The rates that they talk about, you have certain things that we talk about the rates about. The book gives us 3. One of them is speed. And these are special kinds of ratios. When you talk about how fast you are going, that is a ratio, a comparison of what to what. Does anybody know? If I ask you how far you're going, think about what your answer would be. If you're driving in a car, you can give me any speed you want. How fast are you going within reason and not breaking the law, Ryan?
Wait, on what road?
Route 47, of course.
40 miles per
Okay, now listen to what he said. What did you say? 40 miles per hour. You are comparing how far you go you are comparing the distance you go compared to the time it took you to go. And that's what speed is. It's a special ratio. It's a rate where we talk about how far over time. And he said he went 40 miles. The word per means a fraction line. Per hour. So it's a 40 to 1 is the ratio or the comparison, 40 miles to 1 hour. Another thing we do rate on is mileage. Think about this. If somebody asks you what is the mileage of your car, in other words, what kind of gas mileage do you get? Not that any of you are old enough to care because you don't have to fill up the tanks at $3.25 a gallon. Andrew, what would be a good mileage for a car?
Like 20.
20 what though?
20 miles. Per gallon.
Thank you. Yeah, you gotta give me both the measurements there. Mileage is a measurement of distance, how many miles you go over how many gallons of gas. So like Andrew said, you went 20 miles per 1 gallon. Okay, that's another rate. And the last one they give us is how much something costs. And you have to go, well, if you, none of you probably go shopping, but if you go shopping, you'll look at the little tags on the thing. If you want to see what the best buy is, what do you look at? Maybe. Yeah, but you got two different size things. I got the big can of Cocoa Pebbles, or the big box of Cocoa Pebbles that cost $4.25, and then you got this little itty bitty box that costs $2.50. How do you know which one you're buying is the better deal? One's cheaper, one's more expensive, but it all depends on how much you're getting for it. How do you know, Bracala? So the ratio or the how much is how much money, how many dollars per, what did you say? Ounce. They will tell you how much it costs per 1 ounce. And again, that's another rate. It's a comparison of money per something else. So let's say that it was 20 cents per ounce. It's called a unit. That's called a unit price. Even if you go buy a case of pop, you know, they got all sorts of stuff there. They will tell you how many cents per ounce you're buying if you buy a case of pop or even a 2-liter of pop or a liter of pop. They'll tell you exactly how much it is. And the question they might ask here is this: on a bike trip, I'm going to leave out some words for the interest of time. Sam rode 60 miles in 4 hours. Sam rode 60 miles in 4 hours. And the question they ask you is, what is his speed? What is his speed in, by the way, they'll say it like this, MPH. If you ever see MPH, what does it really mean? Miles per, it's a fraction line, hour, just like we said here. Miles per hour. So if you're given this question here, what are they asking you to do? They're asking you to make a rate out of it. And when you do rate, what goes on top? The distance. How far did he go? He went 60 miles. How long did it take him? 4 hours. And this would be okay if it couldn't be reduced. But 60 miles over 4 hours can be reduced down to what? David?
15.
Right. And we could write it like this, miles per 1 hour. But usually, like I said, when we talk about speed, we write it MPH, 15 miles per hour. They mean the same thing. This is just in fraction form. This is just kind of that doesn't seem so bad, does it? I feel as though we've learned significantly much today. Too much. what I would like for you to do.